except when it's when they when it's well created, like having the form or the shape of a human body. And in general, you cannot actually do that abortion except for like a shari reason, like in the first phase, which is like the first 40 days of the pregnancy. Yes, that's okay for again a reason that is according to Sharia, or in order to push away like any harm to you, for example. Sheikh says, well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving you that gift. So the born or the newborn is like a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So do not actually receive that gift from Allah, with like kufr, with, like dislike. Think of a generous person come and give you a gift. Usually accept that gift. So you should receive and accept the gift from the, the King of all kings, the most generous, which is our God. In addition to that, so there are like 40 days, like they call it medical 40 days, and the 40 days like the Shari counting. According to medicine, so it started from like the fertilization or fertility. Sorry for that. It's supposed to be from count from the fertility day or so. But according to Sharia, is different. Next question. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I'm a pre-med student. Currently, I'm preparing to take my MCAT exam on May 9th. At the same time, I'm taking two classes in the college, hoping to graduate in May or April. I was diagnosed with like a severe ADHD, which I have been taking medications in order to be able to study. In the past, I used to be able to flip my day during Ramadan so that I can take my medications and study at night, then sleep fast in the morning. Unfortunately, I cannot do that anymore in this Ramadan due to my classes and to the fact that my dad, who is, like a patient with liver cancer, needs almost, like good attention due to his unstable health. I feel that right now, if I fast, I am compromising my studies, which I can't do due to so many reasons involving my family. And if I want to study well, I would have to stop fasting. I have tried waking up at Fajr, taking my medication, studying while fasting, but dehydration caused by the, you know, this issue. What should I do in general? Like Sheikh is actually trying to conclude because it's a very long story, not a question. What should I do? Like he doesn't like, for example, is it permissible if I don't fast and make these days up later, or should I fast? Again, long story short, yes, this all these situations, but he's wondering if he can skip fasting this month and then maybe making up later on. It seems to me like my brother or my son that this case can be very close to, or can I just look at this case as the case of the people who have like tough jobs and trying to see the relationship between their fasting and their tough job. So first of all, you have to have the good niyyah, the sincere niyyah of fasting Ramadan, and then you become fasting person. And as long as you cannot fast, if you cannot fast during the day, so you have a rukhsa, you have a permission that you can actually not fast in order to avoid any harm or any issues that could actually cause harm to you. And then you could actually fast and I'm sorry, you can make up that day in the right time, the time that work for you. Like take a little bit of food. Sheikh is trying to say you don't have to fast, but take a little bit of food, a little bit of drink, water or whatever, and then hold your fast until you complete the day. Then you can actually complete the fasting day. And Sheikh is making dua to this man that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would grant him a speedy recovery. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I was in a relationship with a man that promised me marriage. However, we had some communication issues which greatly impacted our relationship, and he's that type to get angry quickly. He had good traits, but towards the very end of the relationship, just one day before he broke up with me in a disrespectful manner, I had a dream that him and I, or he and I, had a baby girl and were married and spending time in a nice home, a chalet home of my parents. Right after I dreamed of my late grandma kissing me so hardly. A day later, he did break up, and my connection was my dad, was my grandma, is strong, and she comes up to my dreams with messages. What does this dream mean? Assalamu alaikum, sister. I don't have this skill, by the way, to be able to explain the like the dreams. I wish I could have known that, but I would advise you to take your question to somebody who knows how to do that. Like in our neighborhood here, we have like a Sheikh Walid Basyuni. I would recommend him for you, that he's a very good in that kind of knowledge. But I also noticed that statement in your message, like I have a relationship with a man. You have to know, my daughter, that the relationship with men has to be in in a very like restricted manner. Like you have to keep your vision or your eyes away from that. uh, you have to avoid the khulwa, to being with him, you know just alone. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect you and makes you stay in the good right path, inshallah. A lady. So my husband, the next question, my husband will not divorce me nor accept my khula. From the beginning we have obvious incompatibility. and ongoing clashes since we got married, but we now have 4 kids. And he says for that reason he will not divorce me even when we have one or two, or even now he said he will not divorce me because of the kids. No imam will take my question, and who did then also didn't respond further. At this point, I'm wavering on faith, but holding on by thread. What can I do? What should I do to get out of that? Do I really have no rights in this situation? He's not a good person at all. My daughter, the most precious thing in this life, like the faith, to believe in Allah. If you lose your faith, what else can you gain? And if you gain the faith, what else would you be worried about? If you're not able to fix the issues between you, my daughter, through maybe like good, righteous people to be like, do like judgment, and then he's not accepting that he would let you go by ihsan. So the only way to get that kind of divorce or to leave him, maybe either you go to the court, for the civilian court, to get like divorce, and when you get that civilian or civic divorce, the document come to the Islamic center, and then they will be able to do the Shari node in the divorce as well. If the person forget to make takbir with imam when he stands up from sujood, after a few seconds, is his salah acceptable, or he has to do like sahu sujood? So if you forget, your imam is gonna actually protect you from that. So as long as you are like ma'mum, you follow the imam, you're gonna be fine. In some of the masjid in the Afghani community, some of the musallin, they do not say Ameen after the word Walad Dallin in Al Fatiha. Is that correct, or that Sahih? Sheikh says, well, this is like some people according to madhab, they do it like silently. Some people they do it, like in publicity, and both of them are mentioned. Like, is polygamy haram? If you wish it, is it makruh? Sheikh says, well, this is like question like coming from the Middle East or the East. Sheikh says, in general, it's inherited before Islam from like religions before Islam. Like, look at the Dawood alayhi salam. Islam came to put limits on that. Number one, justice. You have to be just. You have to be fair with the wives if you are willing to get more than one. If you cannot be just, so it's only one. So again, if you cannot practice that justice between all of them, just one is enough. Be careful. Be careful if you try to do that in a communities or in a countries that they do not allow that, because you're gonna put yourself in trouble. What is the difference between the word غفران and عفو? They said the عفو has like a high status than غفران. In the day of judgment, both of them will lead to the same thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He forgive or when He let people go, that's actually the wish of everybody. So those people have like a big beard. Do they wash the, like the dense one? So yes, he has to try to make sure that the water would just come inside, the, for the whole face. At least try to rinse between them, try to use his hands to make sure the water goes all the way in to touch the face. Can I use zakat money to establish like a free clinic and operation in a poor community? Sheikh says, Assalamu alaikum. So the default in this kind of zakah, you know, is, like everybody knows, like zakah has its own ways to be distributed too. But like if you want to make this kind of clinic to help or to serve people in this kind of like poor community in this country or that, like place. So you might have a rukhsa here if you cannot find anybody else to exercise that or to secure that in this community. So you can take some of the zakah. Like for example, the default again is to give the money to the poor or the needy people to spend it in the way that they would like that. Yeah, but you cannot. You try to take some of that money, for example, to help some of this clinic services. So, for example, if you know that some people, some sick people who are needy or poor, and they can afford the service expenses for this kind of like medical work, yeah, you could actually do that. A young man or a youth is gonna play soccer with a team. What is the hukm of the money he earned from that? Is it halal? Sheikh says, well, the default in this kind of sport is halal as long as it's halal, it's jaiz. So Ibn al-Qayyim in his book, like the about like sports, mentioned that. Ibn Taymiyyah also mentioned that. especially if it has like training on like jihad and like active uh, you know activating your body. It's gonna actually also defend your body from like some disease and sickness or illness. Gonna support your spiritual is gonna raise your spirit up. It's again some of the like things. As long as the niyyah of the person who's doing that is niyyah salihah, a good niyyah, a good intent or a good intention. But also keep in mind, avoid like hitting people, avoid like hurting others, uh, or fight with them, or have any dispute with them. Usually in games like that, there's a lot of dispute. Like people also sometimes they have like bad time together. So try to avoid that, and also that should not actually prevent you from, going to the masjid, remembering Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, and all of these. Just like consider all of these issues. May Allah Subhanahu wa Taala accept from you and accept from everybody. Sheikh is actually making dua to everybody, to our families, our parents, their parents, those who have rights over us. And jazakumullah khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.